Okay, so have you ever like actually stopped and thought about it?
Stopped and thought about,
About how all the stuff we use every single day,
yeah,
like it just ends up on the shelves. Like
no,
I never really considered it.
it's magic.
Yeah, it's magic. Like that new phone,
Right.
how did it magically appear
Exactly.
at the store?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out
Yeah.
behind the scenes, it's not magic.
It's not fairies.
There are these people called wholesale merchants,
wholesale merchants.
and they are like the masterminds
Yeah.
that orchestrate the whole thing.
The puppet masters of the supply chain.
Right. And we did a deep dive for this episode
Oh, nice.
into RoleCatcher.
Okay.
And they had a ton of info about this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought it was just like
Yeah.
buy low, sell high.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like that's it.
Basic economics.
Right.
Right.
But it is so much more than that.
It's so much more than that.
They're like
yeah.
matchmakers for the business world.
They're like yeah.
They're connecting
Matchmakers is a great way to put it.
the buyers and suppliers
Yeah.
in ways that like most people wouldn't even think about.
Totally.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. And they have a really tough job.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that RoleCatcher talks about is
Yeah.
investigating
Okay.
potential wholesale buyers and suppliers.
So it's not just like they have a list.
It's not like a Rolodex.
And they're like, oh,
exactly.
yeah, this buyer I know
Right.
wants to sell these things.
It's more than that.
It's like actual deep research.
Yeah.
Like they're really
Yeah, they're anticipating market needs.
anticipating.
Yes.
That's the word.
Yes.
Okay, so they're like
yeah.
fortune tellers.
Kind of, yeah, like a business psychic.
Mixed with a business tycoon.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
Okay, so
What does that even look like?
So let's say,
Yeah.
let's use the example of like vegan leather,
Okay,
right?
which very popular.
Very popular right now.
Yeah.
So a wholesale merchant who's really good at their job
Uh-huh.
might be like
Okay.
reading articles,
Yeah.
looking at trend reports,
Uh-huh.
and be like, oh, wow, vegan leathers.
Trending.
Trending.
Oh,
like this.
which is up and coming.
This is gonna be big.
Yeah.
And they start doing the research then to
Right.
say, okay,
We,
who's making this stuff?
they get ahead of it.
They get ahead of it before
It's
even like a thing.
It's mainstream.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
So they're already thinking about, okay, who are the suppliers?
Right.
Who are the buyers who are going to want this?
And connecting those dots.
And connecting the dots.
Before anyone else is even
Yes.
thinking about it.
Right.
That's amazing.
It's wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've got their finger on the pulse of like
Yes.
what's hot,
Yes.
what's up and coming,
Yes.
what's going to be the next
What's next?
big thing.
Exactly.
But then what?
Okay, so then the real magic happens.
Okay.
So let's say you are that wholesale merchant.
Okay.
You were right about the vegan leather.
Yes.
You found this amazing supplier,
Uh-huh.
amazing quality,
Okay.
great prices.
Right.
But here's the thing.
What?
Their production capacity is limited.
Oh,
They can only make so much of this amazing vegan leather.
oh, that makes sense.
So as the wholesale merchant, you can't just go to
Yeah.
any buyer with a checkbook.
You can't just go to Walmart and be like,
exactly.
here's
Yeah.
vegan leather.
1,000 units.
Right.
We got it.
Because they're going to be like,
Yeah, we need 10,000
we need way more.
by yesterday.
Right. And you're going to be like,
Yeah.
I can't.
I only have this much.
Right.
It's limited edition.
Okay. So you've got to find the right
You got to find the right buyer
buyer.
who understands the value of this,
Okay.
who can work with that limited quantity.
So you're not just like
Yeah.
matching inventory.
Right.
You're like really thinking about
It's a puzzle.
the needs of both sides.
It's a very complex puzzle.
It's like matchmaking
It is matchmaking.
for business.
Yeah.
Okay.
And RoleCatcher even says that this is really stressful,
Oh, yeah.
especially the negotiations,
Because you're like,
because the stakes are high.
yeah, and you're dealing with
People's livelihoods,
real people
businesses.
with emotions
yeah.
and like their own
goals.
stuff going on. It's not just like a
Their own dreams.
numbers game.
Exactly.
Right.
The people business,
The people business.
at the end of the day.
Wow. I'm starting to see why this is
Yeah.
like a real profession.
It's a career.
It's not just,
It's not just buying and selling.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it.
it's like you gotta
Strategic.
be a psychologist.
You gotta understand people.
So you're telling me it takes a special kind of person
It really does.
to be a wholesale merchant?
To handle all that pressure.
Because like,
The negotiations,
Yeah.
deadlines.
right. And like we were talking about before.
Right, like anticipating the market.
Yeah.
Knowing what's going to be hot before it's hot.
It's like you almost have to read people's minds
You really do.
to figure out what they need.
You have to be a little bit of a mind reader.
Before they even know they need it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And, RoleCatcher actually talks about this.
Oh, really?
They have a whole section on skills
Okay.
that you need
Oh.
to be a successful wholesale merchant.
So what are we talking about?
So obviously you
Yeah.
need business acumen.
Okay.
You need to understand how markets work.
Okay.
You need to be able to negotiate.
Right.
You got to crunch those numbers.
Make those spreadsheets sing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then there's this whole other category
Okay.
that I think often gets overlooked.
What's that?
It's the soft skills.
Oh, the soft skill.
The soft skills.
Everyone's always
That's
talking
it.
about those.
Everyone's always talking about them.
But what does that even mean?
So we're talking about things like
Yeah.
active listening,
Okay.
empathy,
Empathy.
being able to see things from other people's perspectives.
Okay, so it's not just what you know.
It's not just what you know.
It's how you connect with people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because remember, you're the one
Right.
building those relationships.
So, like, if you find that amazing vegan leather supplier,
Right.
you got to be able to connect with them
You got to build trust
on a personal level.
on a human level.
Right.
Exactly.
Not just be like,
Not just a transaction.
here's the contract,
Right.
sign on the dotted line.
Exactly.
Gotta, like,
You to build that rapport.
have a relationship.
Exactly. And on the other side, you
Yeah.
have the buyers.
Right. You got to find the right buyer
Who's going to be as excited about that vegan leather as you are?
who understands it,
Right.
who gets it,
Yes.
who's going to be like,
Who's going to see the value?
yes, I need this
Yes.
for my customers.
This is going to be huge.
This is going to be a hit.
And, another thing that RoleCatcher mentions
Okay.
is the importance of AI,
AI.
artificial intelligence.
Right.
Because even if you've got all the business skills,
Okay.
all the charm,
Right.
you still have to navigate the job market.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other beast.
So that is a whole other beast.
Yeah.
And AI is playing a bigger and bigger role in that.
So what do you mean, like?
So like when you apply for a job,
Yeah.
your resume might get screened by an algorithm
Okay.
before a human even sees it.
That makes sense.
So you got to know how to talk to the robots
Talk to the robot.
before you can even talk to the humans.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Well, that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Okay.
They have all these tools
Like what?
to help you with that.
Okay.
So they have like this massive database
Yeah.
of practice interview questions.
Okay, how many are we talking?
Over 120,000.
120,000 questions.
Yeah, 120,000 questions.
That's a lot of questions.
That's a lot of interview prep.
I would not want to have to answer all those.
I know, right? But the good news is
Okay.
you don't have to answer all of them.
Okay.
You just got to focus on the ones
Right.
that are relevant to your field.
To wholesale merchants?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they even have AI-powered feedback.
What does that even mean?
So you can record yourself
Oh, that's cool.
answering these questions.
Okay.
And the system will analyze your tone, your delivery, your content,
Oh, wow.
and give you feedback.
So it's like having
It's like having a interview coach in your pocket.
an AI interview coach.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about what you know anymore.
It's about how you present yourself,
Right.
especially to these AI systems.
That are making the decisions.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's say
Yeah.
you get your foot in the door.
Right.
You've used RoleCatcher.
Yes.
You've aced the interview.
You've impressed the humans and the robots.
Right. You've done it all.
Yeah.
What's next? What does a career path
Okay.
look like for a wholesale merchant?
RoleCatcher has this whole section
Yeah.
on career stages.
Okay.
So you might start out
Yeah.
as a wholesale assistant
Okay.
or an associate buyer.
So entry level.
Entry level,
You're getting your feet wet.
learning the ropes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
And then as you gain experience,
Yeah.
you can start to specialize.
Okay, so you're not just a general wholesale merchant.
No, you can become an expert.
You find your niche.
You find your niche.
So, like, are we talking?
Like maybe you're really passionate about
Right.
sustainable fashion, or maybe you're really into
Yeah.
organic food sourcing.
Okay.
You find the thing that you're passionate about.
That lights your fire.
Exactly.
You become the
You
expert.
become the go-to person
Okay.
for that particular product or industry.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then, yeah,
As you progress,
okay.
you might move into a buyer role,
Okay.
maybe even a senior buyer,
So you're moving up the ladder,
climbing that ladder.
climbing that corporate ladder.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then who knows?
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
So you could be like
You could be leading a team
a team of wholesale merchants.
of buyers.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe you're even mentoring
Oh, that's cool.
the next generation
Yeah.
of wholesale superstars.
Wow. So you've gone from like
Yeah.
entry level
To the top of the game.
to like the CEO of wholesale.
potentially.
That's amazing.
It's a journey.
It is a journey.
But it's a journey that can be very rewarding.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've talked a lot about, like,
Yeah.
the upsides.
Right.
What about the challenges?
Of course, no job is without its challenges.
Right.
And wholesale is no different.
So what are some of the downsides?
Well, for one thing,
Yeah.
it's not your typical 9 to 5 job.
Okay.
Be prepared for long hours,
Okay.
tight deadlines,
Okay.
and a lot of pressure.
Because you're always trying to stay ahead
Always trying to stay ahead of the game.
of those trends.
Exactly. And the market can be fickle.
Right.
What's hot today
Yeah.
might be gone tomorrow.
Right. Like that vegan leather
Exactly.
we're talking about.
What if that trend suddenly tanks?
Yeah. And you're stuck with a warehouse full of it.
Exactly.
That would be
That would be a problem.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
So there's definitely risk involved,
There's definitely a risk.
but
man.
high risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, you got to be able to roll with the punches in this business.
You have to be adaptable, that's for sure.
But RoleCatcher does say that you can, like, manage those risks
Oh, absolutely.
if you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just about luck. It's about having the right
Right.
knowledge, the skills, and the experience.
So you can't just, like, wing it.
Well, you can try, but it's probably not going to end well.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You got to do your homework in this business.
Okay, so knowledge, skills, experience.
Yeah.
But then they also mention intuition.
Yes, intuition.
And that seems like kind of the opposite of,
Like going with your gut.
yeah, like all the data analysis.
Right, because we've been talking about,
Like, isn't that the whole point?
yeah, you need both.
You need the data to back it up.
You need the data, but sometimes you have to trust your gut.
Okay.
You have to be able to read between the lines.
So you're saying there's hope for those of us who aren't like spreadsheet wizards.
Exactly. You don't have to be a math genius
Okay.
to be a successful wholesale merchant.
Good to know.
It's more about
Yeah.
understanding people, understanding markets,
Yeah.
and being able to make those connections.
Being able to see the big picture.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening to this.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Wholesale merchant.
This is it.
That's the dream.
That's the one.
What do they do?
First of all, congratulations.
You found your calling. That's amazing.
That's huge.
But don't stop there.
Okay.
Keep going. Keep learning.
So where do they go?
Well, RoleCatcher is a great resource.
Yeah, they've got a ton of info.
They have tons of information
Okay.
on different industries, on different career paths.
So you can really dive deep.
Dive deep into the world of wholesale.
Find your niche.
Find your people.
Connect with people.
Network, network, network.
That's so important.
It's all about who you know,
Right.
but also what you know.
Okay, so it's a balance.
It's a balance.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, if you're feeling that spark,
Yeah.
go for it.
Go for it.
Don't let anyone tell you
What are you waiting for?
you think you can't do it.
This is your sign
This is your sign from the universe.
to become a wholesale merchant.
Go out there and make it happen.
I love it.
And on that note,
Okay.
I think we've reached the end.
This has been a fascinating deep dive
It really has.
into the world of wholesale merchants.
Who knew they were so cool?
Not me. Right.
I know so much more now.
I'm glad we could enlighten you.
Until next time,
Keep exploring.
keep learning.
And remember,
Yeah.
the best deals are often
The ones.
the ones you create yourself.
See.
Bye.